Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a really cool build coming up on the channel for you guys. Going to give you a sneak peek of the mock-up of what I've got going on so far. So let me get this camera turned around and let you guys take a look at what's coming up on the channel that is really going to show my level of skill. It's going to represent the channel. It's going to be the new icon on the main page. The home page. You'll be able to see, like right now it's just a black truck that's on there. This is going to be that black truck, like dialed to 11. So here, let's take a look at this. So this is the truck that I've got as an icon on my channel, the 60 Ford F100 pickup, or not 60, 56, sorry about that. And it's the Foose edition. And as you can see, it's a really nice looking truck. Builds out really nice. It's just a really smooth looking 56 Ford. And you know, it's got the Foose interior, Foose things on the outside. It's got Foose wheels on it. The engine has had some custom work done to it, the way Foose wanted it done. But I wanted to take Foose 56 Ford to the next level. And so what I have right here is I have stretched the cab and I have stretched the bed. If you see, the bed looks like it's a little sagging down. That can be fixed once I put the actual bed center piece in it. But right now I've just got it all kind of puttied up, as you can see. And so once I get that all sanded down and I'm happy as far as the way the putty is looking, in the meantime I'm also going to be trying to put a floor in it at some degree, at some kind of floor, to give it more structure, and then I'll get it all leveled out at that time. But it does look kind of funky. You can see it goes down at the front and the back. But it's going to have dual rears on the back of the truck. And of course you couldn't fit two sets of huge tires on the back of it. A lot of the parts I'm going to use is from a couple other models. You see the fronts here, they look pretty fancy, kinda resemble the ones at the back. But what I've done to the cab is, you can see right here, this looks kind of straight, and then you got the way the cab right here, the door goes out to the front. So I cut it right in line with the way the door goes down, and then when I joined it together, I've puttied all the way around. So there was a little gap between the back glass and the windshield area. So the whole thing has been filled with pieces of styrene. It's been glued, and then today I puttied over it. The putty never looks that great when you put it on there, because it starts out kind of tacky. So as you start dragging it around, it starts to kind of dry. So some of it gets kind of roughed up. So it never looks that smooth when you're putting it on. But once you get it sanded, so far it's always turned out good for me. So as far as the ride height of the truck, I'm hoping I can get it pretty close to this. But as you can see, the tires are humongous in the back. And I thought about putting some different tires on it. I've run through a few sets of tires, tried a couple of different things, and I keep coming back to these really big streets. But I really might actually forgo putting the street tires on here and put the slicks on here that are the same size. First, we're going to talk about the front tire though. As you can see, it looks like the rim's like probably a 24 or something. I'm going to take this clip off here. What I've done is, this comes pretty much as one piece. I glued the front end pieces to it, so all that's glued in. That way I can make the hood so that it's a tilt hood on the frame. And the hood piece was attached to it. I did have just slightly glued on there, but I moved it and then the hood came loose of it. So we're going to have to put some stronger glue on it, which I have. But so we're going to make this one solid piece to where, like on the frame here, you can see it's got the 2 grooves in it. I'll put some pins on it so that the hood will tilt open, and you'll be able to see down into that compartment. Get that line back up. But so this wheel right here, so you see the tire, and the tire, I am pretty sure that is a set of tires that trying to remember which vehicle that was off of, which kit. I'm pretty sure it is the set of tires that comes with the Chrysler 300C. I don't know who makes that one. I think it's AMC. But so that's the tires that I have here. The rim that you see here is actually a hubcap on a 1/16 scale Ford Thunderbird. I think it's a 57 Thunderbird or 56, but either way, so that's supposed to be the old hubcap. But if you look at it, it looks pretty neat in this wheel, and it literally looks like it's a 24-inch wheel. So it really scales out really nice. I like the way that ended up looking. So these here, so I can put that down here, get that level, and put a little, we have to put a little weight on it so that that can dry, get nice and flush like it's supposed to be. These wheels here, they actually there we go. They actually, if you look, you can see that it looks kind of interesting in there as far as the center of it. I'll show you one that I didn't finish. You see on the back side of that, that is a piece of styrene. So what I had done is I cut the center of the wheel out. So these wheels are the wheels that came with this car here, the 67 Chevelle, and you see that they're 4-spoke. I didn't really like the 4-spoke, and so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do a little something different with those. And so what I did is I cut the center of each one of these wheels out, and so then I put a piece of styrene in the back. I was going to cut it and make a certain kind of wheel, like something I wanted, something I liked. Didn't know what kind of design, but then I found these little smoothie hubcaps, and I don't know if I got it turned right. These actually say Ford, and they were hubcaps that are for the 40 Ford sedan, and they got a little bit of design in there on them, so they really look nice, and they almost are like the exact same size as the whole. So the way it turned out was like a really happy accident. So I decided I'm gonna go with those smoothie hubcaps inside this custom cut wheel, so that I can get a custom look on it, something that it's just not even out there. But the kit for the 67 Chevelle comes with 2 sets of huge tires. It comes with these street tires, which are ginormous. I thought about putting 4 of these in the back, but the more I thought about the truck, the more I wanted it to be a drag truck. And so these are really for the street, and so I'll figure a car out in the future for these tires. But what I'm going to do is use the slicks that are these same size. Now these slicks and streets, they're huge. You look at this 67 Chevelle, get the reflection off of there, and you see how big they are. They're tucked under there, and it literally, you have to tub the rear end on the real car to get these tires to fit. And so having to tub the rear end to make a tire like that to fit, then you imagine you got 4 of these in the back. If you can get this thing to not break the truck in half, that is going to be some traction. Like literally wheel stand city we're talking about, because 4 of these slicks hooking up in the back when this thing takes off down the strip, it's just going to be crazy. Next level crazy. Now what I don't know is about the engine. I thought about, you know, first I'm just customizing the cab and customizing the back of the truck, because I want it to be a 4-door, and I want it to be dual axle in the back. So the reason I wanted a 4-door is so something that I'm sure you guys have heard is something like, you know, the Richard Petty driving experience, that kind of thing. Well, I wanted this to be something like a drag strip driving experience, to where you could go with your buddies and you go down to the drag strip, and if you've never drove a race car, you could pay for the experience to get into this truck and go practically 200 miles an hour down the drag strip and do something you've never done before. You know, how many people have ridden in top fuel dragsters and went that fast? And then you ask yourself the question, how is this truck going to go 200 miles an hour? Well, it's going to be a heavy beast for sure. But I'm thinking about, instead of just doing one engine, I'm thinking about taking both Foose engines and hooking them together and making a dual engine setup, which won't fit in here. So I'm not sure if we're going to go with the engine here. I'll try to figure something out there where it's 2 engines and then the 1 transmission, or am I going to do something crazy and try to fit the engine out back to where there's 2 engines sitting back there, which they would fit, but then that's a rear engine drive, which has a whole lot of other problems it asks for me to try to fix, try to solve those problems. So I don't know if I'll do that or not. I don't know how that'll turn out. But if I do put the engine in the back, it's going to get a fuel cell in the front for sure. Like the old school dragster cars where they put the fuel cell up front. And that way, when you take off gravity feed, the fuel goes to the back and, you know, no problem feeding the engine. All the fuel you can imagine. But is it going to have the Foose engines? I'm not sure. So that's a lot of the ifs, ands, or buts, trying to still figure out what I'm going to do to the truck. A lot of times I'm sitting there working on these, and like when I went to build it, it took me over a year to decide to build it. Then I'm sitting there going, well, what I want to do to it, and then I was like, you know what, I want a dual cab setup. I think that would be really cool to do a dual cab setup on it. And so then I was like, all right, so we got a dual cab setup, and I thought, well, it'd just be a cruiser. You know, somebody could cruise down the street and everybody could ride in it. And then so I was going to put the streets on it. And then I got to thinking, well, what if it was like a driving experience? Wouldn't that be really cool? And so then I was like, okay, we're not going to go with the street tires. We're going to go with some slicks. And so I don't even know if these will be the tires on the front, but it needs to have some wide tires for sure to handle the weight of the front end if I put both engines in front. If I don't put both engines in the front, we could probably go with some kind of skinnies, but I'm not sure. So that's still in the works. I want to go with these because the way they match the rims in the back, but we'll just have to see. So I wanted you guys to see my mock-up of this truck and see what's going on with it. And if you've built this truck before, you know it has a gas cap on the back side here. Well, I went ahead and filled the front one in. It's not going to need 2 gas tanks because it's only going to be on the drag strip for like 1 run down the drag strip, and that's it. So the question is, am I going to leave the gas tank here, or am I going to put a fuel cell in it? So if the engine goes in the front, it'll definitely be fuel cell in the back. But if the engine goes in the back, it'll be fuel cell in the front. So still got to work out where the engines are going to go, where the gas tank's going to go, exhaust. Still haven't come up with all those ideas. Not sure. This is going to be the length of the chassis. I think I do need to trim it just a hair at one of these points here. And then I already got, this is 3, nope, what is it? 3/16. This is 3/16 square aluminum square styrene that's going to go over the frame rails here. It's going to get completely glue bombed together with some really high temp glue to melt it in there. So once I get it measured and get it glued in, that's it. She is done. You'll have to cut the thing apart to get it taken apart. And then, you know, once I get the frame done, probably going to leave the front suspension stock because it's pretty high performance with Foose building it the way he did. But the back end is definitely going to need to see some kind of C channel or something like that, and it's already lowered, so it's going to have to be like a C notch that wraps around some kind of axle setup that I don't even know yet. I want to go with like a 4-link or some kind of link suspension. I think it would, in real life, it would hook better than having leaf springs. And I think it would fit better compared if you had leaf springs in the back. I try to look at these things as if it's real life builds and how would it actually go, so it doesn't just look goofy. And so that's where we're at, you know, just in the mock-up stage here. You can see there's just a lot of work just getting done to it. It's the very early stages. Just wanted you guys to get the sneak peek of what's coming on the channel. And so I'm really, really happy about this build, really excited. And I'm taking my time to try to make sure that this turns out the way I want it to, because we're going to change that icon of the channel to this icon when we get done. And this will be my interpretation of the 56 Ford, with paying homage to Chip Foose and all the awesomeness that he brought to the 56 Ford. So I definitely want to keep, you know, honor him and his skill that he brought to the table, but then I want to bring my skill level to the table and something that probably wouldn't get done in real life, but something you can definitely do with a styrene model. So I want to turn this thing around. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by again. I'm trying to drop a lot of videos on you guys because I haven't done a few in a while. And, you know, I've got a lot of work done behind the scenes. So just trying to get caught up and trying to get you guys something to watch on the channel while I do some more work. And, you know, just kind of like this vicious circle. Do some work, load stuff on the channel. Just trying to keep stuff up there for you guys so that we can keep this channel alive, because I want this channel to grow. I want it to hit more than 1,000 subscribers. I want to be able to give things away to you guys. And, you know, it's taking me time, but I'm trying to get a lot of things in the works for the channel so that I can give to all you guys. And who knows, maybe one day the channel gets big enough, we can really build something like this one-to-one and give it away to somebody. That would be just epic. That would be insane. And probably 5 or 10 years down the road from now, if it ever happens. But that would just blow my mind, to be able to give a one-on-one Chip Foose Model Car Hobbyist original build. That would just be amazing. Alright, I'm done babbling on. Until next time, we'll see you guys later. Take care.